I meet a lot of people and they just want to preach. They just want to preach. And one of the things I want to say to you, if you feel like that God is calling you to the ministry, then you have to eat the stuff. You say, what do you mean by that? Well, you got to eat the stuff. Here, listen to this. The hardworking farmer must be first to partake of the crops. It's almost like, a farmer grows his stuff, and then after he grows it, he tastes it and makes sure it's any good. But then when he finds out it's good, he lives by it. He lives by what he's growing, by what he's seeding and growing. And the same is true for the preacher. Listen, you got to eat the stuff. Whatever you're giving out, that's the stuff that you're eating. Whatever you're telling people to do, that's what you do. Jesus talked about this. He said, be careful of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. He said, do what they say, but don't do what they do. In other words, he's saying, a lot of the things that they were saying it wasn't just wrong. It wasn't of the devil. What they were saying was pretty good stuff. But what was happening is that they were saying one thing and living another thing. They kept the people at a very high standard of the law, but they weren't really living it out. Now, in some cases, that you could probably look at them and go, well, they were really living the law. They were doing it, but their hearts were far from God. Jesus was saying, you say stuff, but your heart's not really in it. You're just kind of playing the game. So let me say this to me, to you, to every preacher, let's live out what the Word of God says. Whatever we're saying, let's do it. And if you aspire to the ministry, why don't you first make sure that you're living the Word of God? And I mean the Word of God, not something that your mama said or someone else said. Read the Word, study the Word, make it yours, tie it to you. Get Jesus active and alive in your life. Make Jesus the biggest thing that you got going. Then you're ready to preach. See you tomorrow.